You know, if you're a good person, you always need a you in your life. So, you know, always have another friend that can help you. My dad always said, you never want to be the smartest person in your group of friends because you can't learn anything from them.
Yeah. True.
So.
David Mann is super funny.
Mm-hmm.
I like Tamala Mann's song, Take Me to the King. What was it like working with them on Man and Wives?
Wow. So I actually knew them prior to that because they came from the Tyler Perry camp. And so I had met them a few times at Tyler Perry functions or the grand opening of his first studio. So they were always just really wonderful and sweet. And before knowing and meeting them, I didn't know they were husband and wife. I always thought that they were really father and daughter from like the movies and stuff. But working with them on Man and Wife was really great. They're really wonderful people. They're really sweet, wonderful, sweet couple. Just so talented. I mean, I really pray and hope and claim victory for them and everything that they want to do with their careers. They should be so much further and bigger than where they are. And I know that it's, you know, only time, you know, will not time. I know with time and the work that they've put in that it's going to happen, but just really beautiful people. Yeah. It was fun. They're fun. Hey, my cousin Derek Baskin is in here. Derek is actually a Tony and Grammy nominated actor who just finally finished his long tour of, well, I don't know, tour, his long standing position as the lead of Otis Williams in The Temptations on Broadway, the Ain't Too Proud to Beg. So Derek is, we found out 2 years ago that we were cousins.
Wow.
But yeah, he's watching. So
we would love for him to come on our show.
Oh my God, yes, Derek. I would love for you to meet these young, beautiful women. I'll set it up.
Okay, thank you.
Derek has a whole different experience in this business than I do because this is a man that, you know, for health reasons, he was like, I have to step down. He'll tell you when he comes on. But Derek was like on stage. Most actors and most performers are not on stage unless they have a concert. 95% of the time, and him playing Otis Williams and being the person who's telling the story, he was dancing and acting and singing, and he was on stage 90 to 95% of the time. I think there were only like 2 scenes he wasn't in, and he was doing 7 to 8 shows a week. So yeah, that right there is boot camp for you.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so we'll set that up.
Yeah. Wow. Yes. In the 1999 film called Life, Eddie Murphy, who plays Ray, and Martin Lawrence, who plays Claude, talk about the upper room. We read that you love this film. What makes you love this film so much? We still have to watch it soon. And what do you think about black men and the U.S. prison system?
Wow. Okay. There's a lot of layers to those questions. So yeah, so you guys have never seen it before?
No.
Oh. Trying to think if it's appropriate for you guys to watch it right now. You know what? I was an adult in 1999. Okay. One of the things that I can look back now and look at it is there's a lot of people that aren't alive anymore that was in that movie. That movie is such a classic film. But one of my favorite things is to watch our people in a film that is so successful and that is just so well put together. Because one thing is there's the stigma and there's a stereotype that anything that African American people do is trash or is not done properly or is done in a tacky way or, you know, just lack a lot of greatness. And that's furthest from the truth, because if that was true, they wouldn't be trying to appropriate our culture. But I mean, there were so many greats from, you know, there's Miguel Nunez and there's Bernie Mac and Oba and Heavy D, you know, was in there, Guy Torry, Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence. I mean, there are so many greats that are in that. You don't see a lot of films where a lot of great comedians, Anthony Anderson was in there, a lot of great comedians come together and do such a successful film that is just really well executed and just well written, and it was just really funny. But I also liked it because that story may not have been a true story of someone in particular, but that was the general story of a lot of Black men back in that time. A lot of Black men were wrongly accused, falsely accused, purposely accused, and imprisoned and killed, to be the scapegoat for other people's crimes. And unfortunately, to this day, there are a lot of innocent men that are in jail. A lot of innocent men. There are a lot of innocent men who are dying in jail. And that story, you know, it was it was just really well done. It was just really funny. What was the second question about the prison system?
What do you think about Black men in the U.S. prison system?
It's well, yeah, going with what I was saying, it's just really hurtful. I actually have a really good friend. He's kind of like a godbrother to me, who is currently serving 15 years for marijuana possession. Marijuana, which is legal now. His possession, he did have a large amount. I'm not going to lie about that and say that he wasn't intending to distribute. But the person who murdered my brother was out on the streets in 2 years. It just doesn't make sense that someone who was selling marijuana can get 15 years in prison, but someone who murdered someone in cold blood and it was premeditated could be walking around after 2 years. It just doesn't seem equally matched. You know, there's conspiracy theories that Black men who commit more heinous crimes are released earlier or not even punished harshly because they want us to take each other out. I don't know if that's true or not, but you know, when you see situations like that happen and see innocent men serving time for such minor crimes, it does make you wonder, like, well, why is that person serving 15 to 20 years and they didn't even do anything? There's even women. There's a woman who's still serving time in jail for shooting a warning shot in the air to her abusive husband, who's been in jail for over 8 years. There's a woman that served almost 10 years in prison for filing a wrong address on her daughter's school documents so that her daughter could go to a good school. And she's African American, but then you have people who are bribing people for their kids to be in schools who are, you know, walking around free. So the prison system for African American people, brown people in general, is just very unfair. It's unjust. And thank God there are a lot of celebrities using their platforms now to try to help. There are a lot of programs that are here to help. I am hoping that the prison reform system will really actually work. And I wish people would use their platforms a lot more to start releasing, you know, these innocent men, because it's better to let one free, like one guilty man go free than to allow what I don't know the expression. It's like it's better to let 100 guilty men go free than to let one innocent man rot in prison.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe depending on the crime. If there are 100 murderers, we don't need them on the street. But I think you know what I mean.
Yeah. I hate that skin color can determine someone's destiny.
You believe that?
Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. I mean, skin color and unfortunately our names. Before people even see us, they see our names on paper and they already know who we are, what they think about us. And you would think that by now in 2020 it would change, but it hasn't.